recording.
It is?
Yes.
Okay. Good afternoon. My name is Sheila Nobles, and I'm going to share with you today how to make a Derby pie. Derby pie is an excellent dessert. It's the official pie of the Kentucky Derby, so that tells you how fabulous it is because there's so many great southern recipes to choose from. If everybody look at your seat, you'll see that I have the recipe for you as well as some suggestions on the ingredients to use. The first thing you'll want to do with this pie is start your oven at 350 to make sure you get it preheated. All ovens cook differently, so we'll talk about that in just a little bit. The first thing I've done is actually put my butter, my 1 stick of butter, in my microwave to melt, and I like to let it cool. That is very important when you're dealing with the butter. The next thing we're going to want to do is get a mixing bowl. I have that right here. We're going to start to mix up our ingredients. The first thing that we'll do is we're going to take our 1 cup of granulated sugar and pour it into our bowl. And then what I like to do is take that melted butter, go ahead and just test it to make sure it's cool, and pour that into the bowl. Now each time we add an ingredient, this is a very simple pie to make, we're going to mix it until it gets a nice yellow consistency. It doesn't take very long to make this pie at all, and that's another great thing. Derby in Kentucky is very busy, so you want a recipe that's very easy to make. Now if you look at the consistency, it's nice and yellow. I've mixed that all in. The next thing I'm going to do is take my eggs. I'm going to go ahead and crack those into my bowl. Put my eggshells over there. And again, we're going to mix that up. And we're going to mix it up until the eggs are well blended into the bowl. You don't have to beat the eggs first. You can just pour them right in the bowl. Again, this is a very easy dessert to make. And it's delicious. Everybody will be asking you to bring it to every party you go to. Okay, as you can see, it's a little bit creamier now. The egg is mixed in with my product. The next thing I'm going to do, and I don't know why this is a very sweet pie. So you just take a dash of salt, and it's exactly that, just a little bit of salt. We're going to mix that in again. I don't know if it helps make this any less sweet because it's a very rich pie, but we're going to go ahead and put that ingredient in anyway. Mix it up really well. Then we're going to take our flour, and this is where you're going to get a thicker consistency. When you bake it, it'll bake up with a nice big brown crust. So I'm going to mix my flour in. Make sure you get it off the edges like your mom taught you. We're going to swirl this around until we get this flour mixed up. And again, this is going to change your consistency just a little bit. Your mixture is going to be a little bit smoother. Mixing all up, hit that side. Get it all mixed up. And again, you can see it's changed the consistency a little bit. Now, one of the things, my mom was my dad's baker. We owned a restaurant. We're going to use imitation vanilla. And the reason I like to use it is I've tried pure vanilla in this recipe. It hasn't really changed how the recipe works as a flavor. So imitation is a lot less expensive. That way you can make more pies. I'm going to take a teaspoon of vanilla. I'm going to pour that into my bowl, and I'm going to mix it up once again. The vanilla really gives it that nice, rich flavor. And like I said, you could get pure vanilla, but it's very expensive. And I use the imitation, and the pie turns out great every time. Another ingredient that I want to share with you that I think is really important is the chocolate chips you use. And I'm pretty much a stickler on this. Nestle's chocolate chip is what me and my family always use when we make cookies or pies. I think they're the very best, no pun intended, but it does make a difference in how the flavor of the pie comes in. So I'm going to take those chocolate chips, 1 cup, and I'm going to mix those in again. So far pretty easy, right? We're going to mix this in until I get those chocolate chips everywhere, because you want everybody to have a bite of that nice, rich chocolate Nestle flavor when they bite into the pie. The last ingredient, believe it or not, is walnuts. And that really is a big hit because what's better than walnuts and chocolate in the same recipe? So we're going to take that, we're going to mix that up. You can get, I would either get whole and crush them up a little bit or get pieces. You don't want very small walnuts. So you want to get either halves or get whole and kind of break them up just a little bit. Okay. Now if you'll look, that's exactly how you're going to want it to look. My next ingredient this is a frozen pie shell. If I had time, I would love to make my own. But sometimes when Derby's here, you're very busy, you have guests coming in. That's one thing I like about this. It's quick, but frozen pie shells work wonderful for this. Took this out a little bit ahead before I got started and started the oven at 350. Do this, I'm going to pour this in, and I would definitely use Pet Rip's pie crust. I think they're the best. I think it does make a huge difference in how your pie is going to turn out. You're going to take that bowl, you only use one bowl to mix the whole pie up. You're going to pour that in, and there you go. All you have to do now is take your pie, put it in your 350 oven. All ovens differ. I would say put it on 20 minutes, check it, and then I check mine again in 10 minutes. Normally in 30 minutes my oven has it done. Now, how does it look when you pop it out of the oven? This is exactly how you're going to want your pie to look, almost like a big cookie, and believe me, it tastes wonderful. The other great thing about this pie is you might want to heat it up a little bit when you get where you're going, and I really don't think this pie needs anything else put on it because it's so rich and yummy. But what you might want to do is take some whipped cream and just maybe put a little whipped cream across the top, and believe me, you will be the hit at the next Derby party you go to. As far as storing this pie, you're going to want to put it in the refrigerator because it does have eggs in it. And I do recommend it's better if you make it the day before the event. But if you do want to use it for an event, at least make it 2 or 3 hours early, store it in the refrigerator, and then go ahead and take it to your party. Everybody's going to want your recipe, and now you have it. Thank you very much.